If you haven't already, tell me about the worst boss you ever had, or maybe just a story that they weren't the worst boss, but like, you know, a little rude, a little sketchy. That's what these people did, but they told the internet. So you writing that in the comments would be you exposing them on the internet. So I don't hate it. Keep it anonymous. I started work at a company, and the first day the owner was hospitalized for a risky pregnancy for her final trimester. Oh my gosh. I had no real training, had no idea what I was doing, and the final straw is when she had someone install 2 webcams with mics and speakers to my computer. Is that legal? One facing me, one facing my screen. I found out during a phone call that it was an open line and she was watching me 8 hours a day to make sure I was working, doing well, I don't know, but it was creepy and I noped the F out of there. Yeah, also, I would like report that. Is that legal? Surely that's not legal. Like without you knowing or giving permission, right? That's creepy as hell. I had a boss who refused to let me take an unplanned vacation to see my grandma on her deathbed. I quit on the spot. It was strange because up until that incident, she was really cool and laid back. But when I asked for the weekend off to go visit my dying grandmother, she snapped and lectured me about how I needed to plan my vacation better. First of all, vacation? Going to say goodbye to a loved one? Since when is that considered a vacation? And unplanned? Okay, hold on. Let me call my grandma and let her know that she should have planned her death better. Give me a break. Like, have some mercy on grandma. Oh my God. Well, and the family. This will be quick. Great. I worked for a retail store. I'd been there for close to 3 years. I asked my supervisor for the possibility of a promotion. The supervisor laughed at me, told me I had a crap attitude. I left that job the next day. Fast forward 5 years, and said supervisor was a greeter at Walmart while I now work for the state. Oh, don't you love a little bit of karma? Honestly, like, it's hard to find jobs these days where you can actually grow within the company financially or in position. It's a tough world out there with all that inflation, y'all. Like, I'm not being sarcastic, like I'm genuinely speaking. When I was 18, 19, I had a job cleaning rat cages for a reptile breeder. What? Oh my God, imagine seeing that job posting. Rat cage cleaner. In need of someone to clean my rat cages. He would drink and toke up simultaneously. Or do mushrooms. I can say mushrooms, that's a vegetable. YouTube, don't come for me. He was a bro though, since he would always offer some. It was really difficult to do my job while tripping multiple balls. Okay, listen, if you're doing the substances, that is on you. I don't think that is to blame the boss for. Did he provide or offer? Sure. Is that completely inappropriate and unacceptable and illegal? Yes, but like you're choosing to do them and work under those conditions. Oh my God, cleaning rat cages while tripping out. That's gonna be a no for me. Like a hell no for me. I mean, I wouldn't even clean those not tripping balls. Actually, I would. I loved my gerbils growing up. Like rodents don't freak me out. Rats don't bother me. Mice I think are so cute because I used to have gerbils and they look just like them. And I clean their cages. So like, I don't think a rat would bother me that much. I'll consider it. If all else fails, maybe I'll go clean some rat cages. Not so much horrible as outright idiotic. I'll take an idiotic story, that's okay. I used to work at an ice cream stand in a pretty popular tourist spot. Boss was a nice guy, friendly, accommodating, etc., but not necessarily the brightest bulb on the tree. That's a new one. I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree either, clearly. I just proved that. Clearly, his first year running the place, dude would order the same quantity of everything. Like, just went down the order sheet going 5, 5, 5, 5. Doesn't matter how fast we run out of vanilla or how few people ordered the weird flavors. We got 5 tubs of them each week. Nuts come in tiny pouches and sprinkles huge bag. Doesn't matter, you get 5 each. Cones are boxes of 24 and cups, bags of 50. Betch, did I stutter when I ordered 5? It was spectacular how quickly we ran out of certain things and how massive our stockpiles were of other stuff. And it took him until August to figure this out and let us advise his orders since we couldn't do it ourselves. I can just imagine, like you would have, it's like almost like, you know when people are like extreme couponing and they have like 25 toothpastes just sitting in their closet because they buy so many because like if there's a deal, that's what it reminds me of. Like you would have some products just taking up the entire stock area. Like you don't have the stock that you actually need. Oh my God, I used to watch that show all the time, extreme couponing. It really blew my mind how passionate people are about it. Like the stock they had in their garage and stuff. I'm like, you could literally just like open it as a brand new store for yourself and make money. I worked for this guy at an ice cream store. He kept cutting my hours for arbitrary reasons. So I got another job and put my 2 weeks notice. Halfway through my 2 weeks notice, I got the flu and tried to call in. He told me if I didn't show up, I was fired. So I showed up and he told me I wasn't being cheerful enough for the customers. So I looked at him, said nothing, grabbed my bag and walked out the door. At which point he followed me and threatened to call my new job and tell them I am a terrible employee. I called his bluff and I called my new job to give them the heads up. They said, we don't care, you're already hired. Feel better, we'll see you Monday. Oh, that boss went to lengths to try to ruin your life. Not today, Satan. Not today, I am one step ahead of you. I don't get why people want their employees going to work sick, especially when you're working with like a food, like ice cream. Yeah, let me just vomit and put my disgusting flu hands all over this place. Even on the doorknobs is enough. Called into his office one day, asked why I was so despondent for the past few months. I said it was because my salary was so far below market and I had no choice but to stay. Green card slave. He asked what my salary was, so I told him. He called me a liar and insisted I couldn't possibly be making that low. Back and forth for a minute, he storms off to HR to ask them. They confirm I wasn't lying. He storms back, sits down, slamming his hands on his desk and tells me, quote, shut up and be grateful that we aren't dragging the process out even longer like we should. That's nice. Isn't that nice? We had previously been friends. It did not occur to him that that conversation ended that. He got very pissed from me not wanting to buddy around with him for the following months. Really? Ugh. The fact that you were even like friends with this person annoys me, like for you. Yeah, that's a no. That's a big fat no. Like, I lost respect for you as my boss, but also as my friend. I worked for a small independent company running the little office doing admin, accounting, etc. Hated the boss as he was an egomaniac and probably psycho, but got on with the job. However, unbeknownst to me, he decided to plant a hidden camera disguised as a movement sensor perfectly placed to watch me. Disgusting. He told me off during a crossword while he was out of the office. I had a snoop around, found it, and quit. Come on, this has to be illegal. We gotta do more than quit. We gotta report this, right? Like you can take that to the labor board, surely. Someone like putting a hidden camera in the office. Yeah. People need to be warned. Like future employees need to be warned of that, because that's creepy. I once worked at a company where the CIO, Chief Information Officer, sideswiped a woman's car as she pulled into a parking space. The woman who had the car that got hit got out and stood beside her car to see what damage was done. The CIO got out of her Mercedes and brushed right past the woman without so much as speaking to her, completely ignored her and walked away. Even with witnesses. The woman that had her car damaged had to go to the HR department and the company cut her a check for the damages. The actual business paid for it, not the CIO. She got away scot-free without ever admitting anything or paying anything. That's terrible. At least apologize. At least. That is the very least that you could do when walking by the woman. Like, even if your intentions were like, you know what, I'm gonna have the business write this off and just pay her out. Apologize to her. Let her know. Oh, there's my neighbors. Let's let them scoot on by. There's the hair. Matthew, I'm filming. I can't talk. Everybody say hi to Matthew. He's calling me. He's gonna have to wait. Matthew, stop calling. I need my content. Decline. He's gonna be like, you ignored my call. I had a boss that absolutely hated me after realizing she wasn't qualified for the position and had already slept with 2 different guys at the company. I came to the conclusion that she was a joke and to just be dismissed. I never paid much attention to her, and when she'd show up at my building once every blue moon, I kind of just ignored her. That's weird. I was busy and didn't have time to play her games. She wrote me up for being late on 3 separate occasions. 1 minute late, 3 minutes late, and 6 minutes late. I lived an hour from work and had to deal with traffic. I left my house 2 hours early most days to account for this. Ugh. But when there's a wreck, there's not much you can do as the freeway is backed up and side roads are... I need to learn how to read. And side roads are clogged. Each time I got stuck in traffic, I called to let her know. She... Stop! That freaking hair that was on that Vaseline stick is floating around. And it just keeps floating back to my lips. She wrote me up in hopes to eventually fire me, so I started leaving the house crazy early. I'd get in super early and leave early. She hated it. Eventually, her behavior got her fired, and people till this day remember her and laugh at what a horrible person she was. I also had that write-up removed from my file as it was recognized that she was treating many of her employees unfairly. Sounds like a nightmare. I worked alongside my uncle in a betting shop for almost 2.5 years, and I ended up hating him. He would try anything just to make it look like he was in charge. He once made a cashier count all of the betting slips in the shop. There were approximately 7,500. How long did that take? And made her recount them because he didn't believe there were that many. He referred to himself as his colleague's employer, which caused a stir. He was a manager at a poopy retail store and not the employer of anything. He felt the need to sign everything the boss. How annoying. And he was a constant one-upper. I have an English degree, but you'd be damned if he didn't know more than me about the pronunciations of Middle English words, Shakespeare, grammar, everything. He just had to try to be clever. Clever? Is that a word? Than you in an attempt to seem like he was above you. Hold on, is clever a word? I have Google open right here. Clever. Clever. I thought it was more clever. Wow, it is a word. Quick to understand. Okay. I literally thought it was more clever. I mean, both are correct, right? But anyways, you learned something new. Y'all flipped out in the comments because I was reading off a story that had ingredients and I said sake, S-A-K-E, and apparently it is sake. Sake. Everyone was like, it's like sock and then E. And then I also saw people write like sock and then like K-A-Y. So I'm like, is it sake? Sake? I don't freaking know. But anyways, y'all like were angry. People are like so annoyed. It's like, oh my God, does people mispronouncing words literally bother you? I am learning words every day. Every time I read a book, I learn new words. Calm down. Some people were nice about it. Others were very triggered by that. You need to look within. Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Jerry wouldn't let me go to the emergency room after the heavy, can I say that? Female bleeding I had been experiencing suddenly got way worse. That's terrible. I went over his head and got permission to go. I called my mom, told her to meet me in the ER. The ER nurse said he'd never seen so much blood. Oh my God. An ER nurse said this: it's determined I need a couple of blood transfusions and will be admitted. Oh my God. My mom calls Jerry, who then proceeds to tell her that it's just stress and that I need to get back to work. At this point, I couldn't even lift my own head up, but sure, I can take a bus across town and go back to work. I ended up needing another hospital stay later for a D&C. They found a large growth that needed a biopsy. Jerry kept insisting that it couldn't be cancer because I'd be tired and losing weight. I had lost 8 pounds in a week and went to bed the minute I got home. I was still recovering from that procedure when Jerry called me to let me know I was fired for taking too much time off. 5 days later, I was diagnosed with cancer. F you, Jerry, F you. F you, Jerry is right. I will say that. I will repeat it. I will agree with it. I am so sorry. This was a much sadder story than I was anticipating. Oh my God, I hope you're okay. I hope you recovered. Like, screw Jerry and the job. I just hope you're okay. That's something you don't want to rewrite about. Like, I proved him wrong. Like, I don't even need, please don't let me prove him wrong. Please don't let me have cancer. Like, I wish you weren't right in that situation. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Let me know if you had a bad boss. Let me know if you had a Jerry. Okay? I'm out of here. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I will see you tomorrow.